Good morning. My name is Felix Mail from Heritage Lincolnshire. I'm the project officer for the Lincolnshire Local Listing Campaign, and today I'm going to run you through a short video on how to use the local listing nomination tool on the website. So to start, I'm assuming you haven't been to the website before. So when you first arrive at the page, you'll need to register an account, which is free to do and takes only a minute or two of your time. So find register in the top right-hand side of the screen and click on that. Here, you'll be required to put in a username, an email address, your name, and then a display name. The display name is what will be shown on the website when you make your nomination. The other information will be viewable only to staff on the project. You can tell us why you're looking to sign up and make nominations. However, this isn't critical, so feel free to leave this blank. You can then choose a password of your choice before clicking I agree to the terms of use of the website, which can be found here on the link to terms and conditions, and also alongside our privacy policy should you wish to view those. Once you've completed all of these fields, click on register, at which point you will be sent an email with an email address with this wording in it, who are the web developers, asking you to either enter a code or to click on a link. And if you click on the link, that will authorize your account. Just for reference, that email sometimes can go straight into your junk email box. So it's always worth checking your junk mail if it's not arrived in your inbox within a couple of minutes. Once that's all done, you return to the home page of the website, and then to the top right corner again, click on login. Once you're here, put in the email address you've used and your chosen password and click login. You'll see it returns us again back to the home page. So now to the nitty-gritty of making a nomination. So there are two ways that you can do this. You can either do this through the list by clicking on list and click adding a new asset, or you can go to the map, and this is the route we're going to show you just because it's a bit more visual. And yeah, but they both will take you to the same route of making a nomination. So it doesn't matter which one you choose, just as long as you choose map or list. So today I'm going to run you through an example here in Louth, one which I've already done, but I will create again just for the purposes of this video. So you can see at the top of the screen, we have the create asset button. Firstly, I would say before you do that, if you want to find the area you're in, you see on the left-hand side of the screen, there is a small taskbar with the option to search, the map layers, to choose the base layer of the map, and some further information. So for example, if you were to click on search and your building was in Boston or Spalding, for example, you would type in Spalding and then press enter. And then that takes you to Spalding, or in this case, we're looking at buildings in Louth. So type in Louth and press search. Equally, you can search for a road or a street name if you know the particular street name, or you can add in the postcode and that will do the same. The result will be the same. You can see here that we're back in Louth, and we will then locate our site, which is here. And what we then do is click create asset. You'll see here that in the middle of the screen, there is this set circular crosshair. So what you need to do here is center the center of the crosshair over the site that you're looking to nominate. So if this is just an individual building or an individual site, then try and get the center of the crosshair in the center of that building approximately, or center of that site approximately. However, if you're looking to do multiple assets, so for example, a terrace of houses, as we're going to do here, try and center the crosshairs on the corner or a corner of that site. And the reason for that will become clearer later on, as it will help us to build a line around the whole site. So it's more easy to identify that it's a row of buildings, for example, that's been put forward. But once you've done that, once you've moved your crosshair to the appropriate location, click on OK. And this takes us to the first page of the recording tool proper. So for the purposes of this, just check on the little map inset that the cursor is approximately where you want it to be. If it's not, you can move it slightly in this map here. But in terms of information that's required, it's quite simple here. We need you need to name the asset. So for example, if it's a building, or buildings in this case, then you put in that there. So in this example, it's 160 to 168 Eastgate in Louth. And then you need to choose what is the asset type. So you've got building, park or garden, landmark, artwork, or wayfinder, which for example may be street signage or street furniture, or other sites, structures, or landscapes. And this can be fairly broad. It could be a site of archaeological interest, or it could be a landscape area that isn't a park or garden. So for example, a stretch of a navigation canal, which can often be historic, or are often historic features in the landscape. And then, so in this instance, we're going to click building and then enter the address or the location. So addresses can be found on the Royal Mail postcode finder or on Google Maps or through Google search. However, if you don't know the exact location and postcode of the building, you can progress the nomination without inputting that information, though it is if you have it, it would be great to have it. So for example, if you have a site that isn't a building, that doesn't have a definitive address, then please just describe the location of the asset in as clearly and to the best of your ability. So once you've completed these fields, scroll down to the bottom of the page and click next page. So here you see there's one box with the title description. So in this box, you've got no word limit. Please put in as much information to describe the asset that you're nominating as you can. If you aren't able to or don't wish to describe it, it really is important that you provide us with a picture or as many pictures of that asset as possible, because that then will allow us to create a description or be able to describe it should we need to in the absence of a written description. But say, for example, for the buildings that we're going to be nominating in this example here, you could say things such as describe what the roof type is or the roof material is, what are the walls constructed out of, what type of windows does it have, what type of doors does it have any kind of boundary walls. It's things like that that you can describe in this box here. But like I say, put in as much or as little as you feel able to do so. However, if you don't have anything to say whatsoever, you can still progress with the nomination. So just to show you here, I've left this box completely blank and you can click next page. So moving on to the next page, we're looking here at for you to tell us what is significant about the asset that you're nominating. So for example, if it's a building, is it being put forward because it's got interesting architectural features, so it might retain a lot of its historic fabric? Or if it's a site of archaeological interest, are there visible earthworks in the ground that can help to kind of identify that site and can be interpreted to that past use? For example, a deserted medieval village site, you can often find holloways and tofts and crofts, which kind of signify potential former residential plots, or fish ponds is another fairly common feature that can be found within landscape. Equally, there are other things you can tick here. So say you have a nice terrace or multiple terraces of buildings, say Victorian or Edwardian terraced housing, you can tick group value, because obviously the numbers, the grouping of those buildings contributes to why it's a significant heritage asset. Or it could be landmark status. So for example, Lincolnshire very typically has lots of windmill towers or former windmill towers, some obviously now in use as residential buildings, but those buildings can be seen very often from very different points within a landscape and are a bit of a local landmark. So in that instance, you might click landmark status. And so for example here, if you think it's got architectural and artistic interest, then you tick that box. And again, similar to the previous page, put in your own words why you think it has got that interest. But if you do not feel able or wanting to be able to do, not to be able to do that, then please feel free to leave that blank. Just tick the ones that you consider apply to that site. And so in this instance, this example, the group terrace of buildings, which I'll just show you here. Yeah, hopefully you can see that here on Google Street View, is a nice terrace of late 19th century kind of Victorian dwellings. And then tick the ones that apply, so architectural and artistic interest, group value, and then click next page. So here, moving on to the next page, it's quite important. Like I say, if you aren't able to describe or provide a written description, this is the opportunity for you to add any photos that you've taken of the site or the building or whatever asset it is that you are nominating. So to do that, you click on Add Photo, and you'll see here, I've got a test folder here. So you find in your computer where your photograph is stored, and you click on the photograph and click Open. You'll see then that this imports this into the page. At this stage, though, that photograph has not been uploaded. So what you then need to do is provide a description of the building. So here I'm just going to write building. Equally, again, as I said before, you can leave this blank should you wish to. However, it just helps sometimes if you give a little bit of description, especially if it's of an archaeological site or something like that, just kind of offer a little bit of interpretation. But whatever you've written in your description or whether you've left it blank, once you've done that, you need to click I accept the terms and conditions, which I've previously alluded to on when you sign up for your account, and then which basically tells you what we do with photos, where they're stored and so on. But once you're happy with that and that's all ready to go, you'll see upload has become brighter. It's now visible on the page. So click upload and you'll notice here that there is a percentage figure here. Once that reaches 100%, the photo has been properly uploaded to the record that you are creating, and this, you can add up to 4 photographs or files at this stage. So for example, if you don't have a photograph, or if you've got a photograph and you've got some supplementary information that might be written into a Word document or a PDF file, you can also upload those at this stage. So once you've done that and you've added everything you want to, click on next page. And this is the final page of the tool. So it's very short, it's very sweet. If you are recording on behalf of somebody else, so for example, you are the representative of a parish council or a civic society or a heritage or history group, then you would tick this box and you would enter the name of that organisation there. However, if you are just an individual member of the public, then you don't need to do anything here. You just click, leave it blank, and then to finish, you can click Save and Exit. On that, just one last note before I do that. If you are creating a record and for whatever reason you just stop halfway through, just click Save and Exit at any point and you can return to it at some future time. So our record here is complete. You see the status there is in preparation. You see the title of the asset here at the top. You can see there are some actions, which I'll come on to in a second, but basically use this page as a chance just to review all of the information that you've put into the record to this point. You'll see there on the map that it's created a marker for the asset, and I'll come back onto that in a second. You'll see further to the bottom the reasons why it's significant that you've put in, and any photographs or files you've put in. Here, I'd say that if you've got more than 4 files, you can add a further up to 20 files through this button here, and it's the same process as before. You add the file and then put a description and then click upload. So taking you back to the top of the page for a second. So once you're happy that you've got everything that you want to submit put into the record, click on Submit for Review and then click Confirm. So this then opens up the opportunity. When you see the map, it's now changed from an orange to a yellow marker. So this allows you some greater flexibility to be able to either, one, move the point to somewhere else if you so wish to, or if you've got a site such as a park or a terrace of buildings, by clicking on Edit Polygon, it will allow you to create a boundary around that site. So what you need to do is, once you've clicked Edit Polygon, click on your marker and you'll see there's a line here. So you then take it to the edge of the building, click the points, go around to the whole site that you're putting forward, and then make sure it joins back together as a start in a square or whatever shape it may be once you've put down the full boundary of the site. And once that's done, if you need to start again, click delete and then redraw it, or if you're happy with it, then click save, and you'll see there that it's automatically updated the record. So we've now got a box showing that this record is for all of these 5 houses here. So it's not then changed anything else on the rest of the page, but at this point you are effectively finished. At this point, you can then write a comment, which will come through to myself or other members of the project team, and then we can kind of engage with you then and tell you if is there any information needed, or whether this can then just be put straight through as a candidate. And then, so yeah, at that point, you are finished, short of any kind of last bits of information that need to be added. And then to see your record, click back on map, and you'll see here in landscape, in the map, your record has an entry here. You can click on it there to go back into it, and you can see on the map that that is the boundary of the site that's been uploaded. And that is the conclusion, short guide there on how to use the tool. I hope that is clear, and if you have any questions about it, please feel free to contact me or anyone at Heritage Lincolnshire who will put you in contact with myself, and we can help you with it, help you with any issues you might have in using the tool. Thank you very much for listening, and have a good day.